Well, I tell you what, my commentaries on the homosexual agenda, the gay Boy Scouts, and the Supreme Court ruling on gay marriage have sure stirred up a lot of commentary on my YouTube channel.
The back and forth discourse has been interesting. Here and there I've interjected some comments of my own. If you'd like more detail, look it up on the Polititick YouTube channel. I have kept the comments anonymous, and for the sake of keeping this a family channel,
I've censored out some of the more harsh language. These sodomites won't quit till Old Glory is torn down and her stars and stripes that have stood for morally straight for over 200 years is replaced with the sodomite rainbow. God's people have been dormant, playing church for too long, kinda like Pearl Harbor. Let's wake up, sleeping giant.
Now, the previous viewer's comments about Old Glory prompted the following comment from another.
Why do you have such a for the American flag? It's just a piece of cloth. Oh, and you for being a bigoted go die in a hole.
And I felt compelled to respond with this.
A bigot is someone who treats other people with hatred, contempt, or intolerance on the basis of a person's ethnicity, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, disability, socioeconomic status, or other characteristics. You sound hateful and intolerant, Anonymous. Take a look at yourself.
And I was quite pleased to receive this fairly civil reply.
I generally feel contempt for people who feel that discrimination against homosexuals or anyone else. But if you feel as though I hate you based on my comment, then I'm sorry. Sometimes I say when I'm, but I sincerely want to know what's wrong with homosexuality, and can you give an excuse that doesn't involve a God?
Well, that's a fair question, and it deserves a fair answer. So here goes. Thanks for your response. Okay, I think I can talk about this without delving into the God issue or discussing my personal religious beliefs. What's wrong with homosexuality, you ask? That can get into kind of a big discussion. For all time, up until a few years ago, it has been considered a disorder. For one thing, it goes against nature, and if you're into Darwin, it violates the theory of evolution. Based on the origin of the species, the survival of the fittest concept, homosexuality shouldn't even exist. Question: how can people who do not desire to have sex with the opposite sex pass along their genes and therefore evolve? Answer: can't. Okay, actually, whatever homosexuality is and whatever causes it, it's irrelevant. It just is. For whatever reason, throughout human history, a relatively small percentage of human beings have had and continue to have same-sex attraction. And to discriminate against these people is just wrong. But the institution of marriage,
it's really about a lot more than who you love and who you want to have sex with.
It's also about posterity. The family has always been the core unit of our society, and for the sake of human survival, it should continue to be so. This is where we bring up our next generation. It is proven that the best case scenario for bringing up children in this world is a mom, woman, and dad, a man. Now I know that it can't always be this way, but it's an important enough reality that we should strive for this best case scenario and do the best we can with what we have to work with. Marriage, therefore, as it always has been, should continue to be the union between one man and one woman only. I do not hate homosexuals. Some of the nicest people I've ever known are gay. I have a family member who is gay. I love him. We don't agree on many things, politically or spiritually, but we respect each other. The question of what's wrong with homosexuality is really not the issue here. I am concerned about the truth behind the same-sex marriage agenda, as well as the attacks on groups like the Boy Scouts. What are these advocates really after? Do they really want marriage, or is something else going on? I'll tell you what, civil unions for homosexuals would be fine with me. Letting same-sex couples have the same benefits as married men and women is also okay with me. I'd be okay with restructuring the whole tax code so that nobody received or needed to receive a marriage benefit or penalty. But just leave marriage alone. It is what it is, and it needs to stay that way for the sake of society and for the future of our kids. Now, it's hard to leave religion completely out of this, because in this country we enjoy freedom of religion. And that's freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. And marriage is more than just a civil institution. It is a religious one as well. When you make gay marriage legal, will the next step be to require all religious institutions to accept this and perform same-sex marriages? If homosexual behavior is against your religion, it can be a big problem. The Catholic Church, for example, can never accept that, and it shouldn't be required to. It would be a violation of their beliefs, which, by the way, is that we should love the sinner but hate the sin, and never forgetting we are all sinners, and we are all in need of forgiveness.
Now, I sent that message to the viewer, and I got this lengthy response. It's too long to read the whole thing here. If you like, you could pause the video or go to polititick on YouTube to absorb it in its entirety. The gist of it is that the person keeps asserting that he's heard all my arguments before and has successfully refuted them all. And I have to challenge that by saying that I've heard all his arguments before and I have successfully refuted them all. Well, now I could take this lengthy discourse, pick it apart piece by piece, refuting each item, and perhaps the next time I get an afternoon off, I'll do that. But there is a big difference between us. I used to believe everything he's saying, and eventually figured out I had been wrong. And I highly doubt that he's ever believed anything I've been saying, and then been convinced that he was wrong. One of us has embraced the truth, and the other one is in denial.
This has been a Sunfish production.